Hi there, I'm Heath Ryan and here we are at Melbourne 3-day event. It's all about the final trials for the Olympic Games. It's all about dreams, about people that are getting very close to making the Olympics in Athens, just 70 odd days away. And it's all about those that, well, the dreams just aren't going to happen this time, and it's despair, disappointment, and I guess back to the drawing board. You're watching Horse Rush TV. Stay tuned.
We're here at Melbourne 3-day event with FEI veterinary delegate Dr. Andrew Turner. We're at the 10-minute box, and maybe Andrew, you could tell our viewers what the 10-minute box is and what the purpose of it is in the running of a 3-day event.
Well, Graham, today, Sunday, is the endurance day for the 3-day event. They've had their dressage, which is the discipline, and today is the endurance. And part of the endurance is they have a thing called the roads and tracks, which is phase A, and that's a walk, trot and canter over 4 or 5 kilometres. Then they go straight out onto the steeplechase, and they steeplechase around 3 kilometres, maybe a little bit more. Then they go out onto the phase C, so the steeplechase is phase B. They go out onto phase C. Phase C is the second roads and tracks, and that's 5 kilometres or so, and that's mainly a walk and a trot. Then they come into the 10-minute box, and the 10-minute box is the 10-minute period before the cross-country, which is the real endurance phase. And we just check them there, we trot them around, we check their heart rate and their temperature and make sure that they're okay to go on to the next phase, which is phase D, and that's the really tough phase, and they have to be right before we get them out onto there. Now, keeping in mind that we've already checked them at an arrival examination, we've then had a formal inspection on Thursday morning or Thursday lunchtime that you were involved in, and then they come in here for another inspection just prior to the cross country. They'll perform the cross country. If they get round there okay, they get to the finish and they're examined again by another group of veterinarians. So it's a very tight, what would you call it? It's a very strict set of rules and guidelines to get these horses through to the finish and make sure they can go on to the next phase tomorrow. And in fact, tomorrow we check them again tomorrow morning, an examination that you're involved in. That's the third horse inspection, and it's a formal inspection in front of the ground jury. The 3 judges that are involved in this group will stand there with me and we'll check all these horses again tomorrow morning.
So at the 10-minute box, if you feel the horse is not fit enough or well enough to compete in the, as you say, the most strenuous phase of the endurance, the cross-country, the horses are withdrawn from the event.
Yeah, and generally speaking, if we don't think they're fit to go on, we give the rider the option to withdraw the horse or be eliminated at that point. Now, it's obviously much nicer to say I withdraw than me telling them and telling the scorers that the rider's been eliminated. And we had a couple there today that we eliminated in the 10-minute box. One horse got quite badly tied up or azoturia, which is just a muscular condition, and the other horse struck its heel quite badly, and you're going to go and examine that now, and bruised its heel, and it was quite lame and we couldn't let it go on, but the rest of them did pretty well and we got them out.
So it's a very stringent veterinary examination.
Yeah, very stringent.
The horses simply aren't allowed to compete unless they're in tip-top condition.
You know, and when you look at the way the examination process has been set up, it's been set up to really leave no stone unturned. And they don't have to be absolutely perfect, but they have to be fit to compete, and that's what we're looking for.
Andrew, I'm sure you're busy. Thanks for your time. Appreciate that.
Pleasure,
And
Graham.
your horse rush viewers will get a lot of benefit from what you've said.
That's
Thank
a pleasure.
you.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at Melbourne 3-day event and you're watching Horse Rush TV, and with me, Sonia Johnston, and she has just won the World Cup class. Sonia, wonderful effort. You're on Ringwood Jaguar, and this is a horse, and Sonia, all the way from Western Australia, obviously won one of the biggest events in Australia. This culminates with the winner of this circuit, and this being Melbourne here, the World Cup class, and Warwick, the World Cup class, the winner after those 2 rounds representing Australia overseas at the finals of the World Cup. So, you know, you've obviously had a wonderful sort of run. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the dressage for a start?
Well, I was quite pleased with his dressage because at Adelaide he was very spooky, and I've been doing a lot of work on getting him to be comfortable with spooky things because it's his strength with the jumping. He looks at things and goes like this, and that's why he's so careful. And so I was really, really pleased that he went in there under lights with all the flags and the sponsors' cars and the people, and he stayed calm and relaxed, and that was what I really wanted to achieve. So now all I need to do is just pick up the pizzazz, and then it'll be nearly as good as yours.
I got to say, when you came out of the dressage arena and you just did everything very beautifully and elegantly, and the crowd clapped, and then as soon as you got outside, you went, yes! And you're obviously, you know, very, very pleased with him, and that must have been a great feeling.
I was. It was, you know, like, it's always been my weakness. We've worked very, very hard on it, and I will nail it.
Good on you. Well, you are nailing it. Of course, then we came to the cross country, which was yesterday, and I mean that. You know, I mean, without meaning being disrespectful, you know, from Western Australia, we always think of the girls from Western Australia as the girls from the bush, and
I'm proud of it.
And in that cross country, you're in your element. Just tell us about the cross country. You're the first to go under time, no time penalties. People were suggesting it was impossible. It was a big track, and you made it look beautiful. Just tell us about yesterday in the cross country.
It was great fun, and the more people said you can't make time, the bigger the red rag got to the bull, as you can imagine. And I just went, this isn't possible. Good, I love things that aren't possible, so I made it possible. And the horse is just a machine. You gallop along and you're a little bit off, and you can either go whoa or you can go kick, and it's just action like that. And it's so clean in front that you can just trust it and gallop down to anything and rely on its scope.
And that's beautiful. Of course, today in the show jumping, to start with, it looked like nobody would make a clear round, and you got within a whisker of a beautiful clear round to finish up the round. Just tell us about it.
Hey, again, it wasn't happening, so therefore I had to prove it could happen. I'm like that, I'm sorry, Heath.
Wouldn't that be great if that was your girlfriend? Oh, sorry, Sonia, go on.
So I was just like, I knew he could jump it. We jumped some big fences outside. He was jumping really, really well, and I just went in there and I was determined to nail it. I knew what I was sitting on. It's a jumping machine.
So he left all the rails up, which in itself was a feat. Did anyone else do that all day?
I don't believe so in the 3-star.
Yep, in the World Cup round, and that was the biggest round of the day.
Yep.
And you got one time penalty.
Don't keep reminding me.
And you did take a really cheeky shortcut right at the end to try and
I will admit I had some assistance with that. Wayne Rowcroft said to me, if everyone's having trouble with time, you can turn that one in there. I said, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So Wayne had a little bit to do with that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at Horse Rush TV, and this is the winner of the Melbourne World Cup 3-day event, and wasn't it a great one? Sonia Johnston, congratulations.
Thanks, Heath.
Hi guys, now welcome back to Horse Rush. We're out here today at Westrock Farm with Leanne and Colleen. Now Westrock's in Victoria, and I'm not going to let you say it, Leanne, because I'm not even trying it.
It's Carlsruhe between Woodend and Kyneton.
Okay, now Colleen, tell the guys a little bit about Westrock.
Well, we're running Westrock Farm as an holistic horse centre, and what we mean by holistic is we're looking after the whole of the horse out here. So it's about training that's natural and good for the horse, which is why we like Horse Rush, because you guys love horses like we do.
Thank you.
And why we're having Carlos's clinic out here, which we're very excited about in the near future. But we also look after the health side of it with natural health. We have our wonderful resident vet, Dr. Michael Bascom, who's a homeopath and looks after our horses from that perspective. And we're also running a rehabilitation centre, which we're starting off now, but plan to expand as we get through the time. Where horses can come and convalesce when they're sick or after they've been injured, or even if they're a little bit burnt out and they just need a break and need some massaging and body work and clear their system from sickness and antibiotics and things after they've been unwell.
We'll see. We heard it's a fantastic farm, so enough of me. I'll let the girls go and give you a tour.
Hi, we thought we'd start the tour with you meeting our horses, because that's why we're out here, because we love horses just like you do. And on this side here we have Brody. Brody's 30 years old, but don't tell him because he doesn't know that. This is Clementine, our warm blood. She's going to be one of our big dressage horses. My favourite, Seamus, he's my little thoroughbred. Yeah, you tell him, Seamus. And this is young Georgia. This is our baby warm blood. And just like you guys, we love our young horses. So we've got Manolo training this horse. So he's been out and doing some nice steady groundwork with her so that we don't have a stressed horse in competition and we end up getting that lovely softness that Manolo can put into horses. This little fellow, he's had a Bowen today and he's feeling much better now because he was very stuck behind the hips, had a bit of trouble with his saddle. He also had a little bit of trouble with his front end where it was starting to give him some grief. So, and now he's got some homeopathics to help his tummy because he was a rescued horse. And he's a lovely fellow and he's just feeling very much better than when he arrived here, aren't you? Yeah, he's a sweetheart. And over here is our other girl. And she's having a little visit in the stable because she's just been working. And she actually loves her stable. Ours don't like them too much. We don't keep a lot of horses in stables. But Koo's another ex-race horse. And now she's our riding horse. Hi, we're over now at our horse facilities. But I'm going to let Leanne tell you about that because this is her baby. She's the rider. I look after nutrition and muscles. So Leanne, why don't you tell them about it?
Well, this is our Pride and Joy arena. It's 70 by 30. So you've got lots of room to, especially when working the young warm bloods. And over here is our round yard, which is fantastic for dealing with you know, horses that are being a bit difficult, and it's also really great for doing some free work. Like we had Manolo up here a couple of weeks working with Georgia, our young warm blood that you just met over there before, and it was fantastic seeing what Manolo was doing with her.
Hi, here we've got this is our bunkhouse. It actually is an original railway station that was on the Casterton line, and it was built in the 1830s, and we've now converted it into our bunkhouse. So let's go and have a look what it looks like from the inside. Now we're into our conference and yoga room. Hi, and here we've come to our original Cobb & Co barn. Now this place used to be the last stagecoach stop for this trip because there was no bridge over the Campaspe River. So the horses were put up here and the people were put up here. So let's go and have a look at our carriage where we feed all our people.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Lynn. She's the
Hello.
third member of our team. She cooks the wonderful food here and looks after everybody.
With a lot of help.
She makes a pretty mean cappuccino. So we'll just put our orders in now before we finish the tour. Thanks, Lynn.
Okay.
And now this is our restaurant. This is where everybody gets fed. We have great country cooking, big open fires, lots of fabulous wine from the Hanging Rock wineries, and everybody just generally has a good time. But also, let's go and meet the bar, because that's where all the action is.
We're here with Pretty and Dr. Michael Bascom at West Rock Farm. Now, Dr. Michael, what do you specialise in? You've got a special interest in veterinary science, don't you?
Yes, I'm a vet with 20 years experience, and I've recently become very interested in natural therapies, especially for the recuperation and rehabilitation of horses. Pretty here came to us, so she's a racehorse. She's about 5 years old, and when she arrived, she was totally broken and dejected.
Gosh.
She was locked in her right shoulder, and when she urinated, she almost collapsed with pelvic pain. And she's really exciting success for us, because just using natural therapies, which included Bowen massage, homeopathics for her shoulder and her urinary problem, she's just come a real long way. We took x-rays off her feet. Our local veterinarian, Dr. Tony, did that to make sure that there was no problems there. And she's had her feet shaped and trimmed, and she's done really well. We're really, really happy with her. She can now gallop, kick and buck and behave like a normal racehorse. It's just fabulous to see that.
Now,
Isn't it pretty?
For the guys at home, natural therapy's come a long way from a backyard mixing herb thing, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and we use a complete integrative approach here. Her diet consists of herbs, tissue salts, vitamins, and she continually is having homeopathics as the need arises. The Bowen massage releases tension in her body from her head to her tail, and I forgot to mention earlier, she's also had craniosacral work, which has realigned her whole spine.
The spine,
So she, as you can see, she's really happy with the whole thing, so it's just great working with her.
So natural therapy with horses now may be another option for the guys at home.
Well, what I like about it is, in my experience, a lot of horses that seem to have reached the end of the road now have another opportunity.
Yep.
And this is where it's really fulfilling and really, warms my heart to be able to give them another chance.
Well, that's fantastic. You're dedicated in that area.
Yeah, thank you, Tat.
Now, guys, we'll catch up with Dr. Michael on another episode of Horse Rush, if that's okay, actually getting you doing something with a horse.
I look forward to that. I really do.
And welcome to the West Rock Bar. This is where lots of good times after clinics and seminars are had, with good wines and beers and lots of fun. So we hope to see you out here soon at West Rock.
Well, thank you guys for that wonderful tour, and we'll catch up with West Rock on another episode of Horse Rush, because you have some wonderful clinics here.
Thank you.
So for more information, how can they get in contact with you?
They can call us on Melbourne 03 5422 2636.
Or you can go to the horserush.com website for more information.
So, that's another episode of Horse Rush TV. Hope you enjoyed the show. And as the team says, be nice to your horse, love your horse. We'll see you next week.
Well, thanks to all the thousands of emails, thousands of letters, Up Close is back. And back by demand. We're going to ask some hard questions here today at the 3-day international. What am I going to ask? Let's ask something. You're the type of person that would know their horse movies back to front.
But
is that
I'm
right?
not a horse person, I'm a JP.
This is the piece.
Yeah.
You're a recluse of something.
No, I'm just digging out my ID badge.
Hey, Doc. Christ almighty. Lock me up. Lock me up.
I do.
Christ almighty. No horses here.
No, exactly.
Christ almighty. You've just scared our producer, Sam. He's bolted.
Sorry.
Where'd he go? Sambo, it's all right. Come back. Sambo, it's okay. He's gone. He's gone. We're missing a producer. So, you come here often? No, you come here often? What's happening here today?
Hey.
Hey, bring her in. Come in.
Hey, this is Bernie from Cyberhorse.
Bernie, come in. Come in. The more the merrier. Turn around here and have a look at it. You know, so give us an up close with Fonz. You're on Horse Rush TV.
I know. I watched it the other night.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, it was fabulous.
Yeah, but you need to say it to our viewers. You're on Horse Rush TV.
I watched Horse Rush TV the other night and I just loved it. I watched Manolo working his horse.
Hey! This is not about Manolo. This is about me.
Oh.
Yeah, this is up close with Fonz.
Okay.
Evicted because of
No, this is not Big Brother. You haven't been evicted. There's no evictions here. We haven't voted for you yet.
We thought we were about to be evicted.
No, why would we evict you with the fox melon on your head?
Not at all. She showed that comment, I'll leave.
Yeah, no fox melons around here, darling. Oh, look at that. Wow, a fox melon.